This is a Bell Howell 492. Let's try that again. This is a Bell & Howell 492 Super 8 camcorder, and today I'm going to try and convert it to digital.
Oh! Hello. Whoa. I'd like to get a few opinions on something because people are actually quite divided on the merits of the value in making stuff look old or in doing this kind of old conversion. Do you think there is actually any real value in trying to make something look like it was shot using an older technology or film with a different technology? Is there a value? Did that analog technology have something inherently in it that made it somehow better than modern digital things? Or is it just, did you think it's just purely nostalgia, or is it just a gimmicky waste of time? What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
This is the Bell & Howell 492, a Super 8 video camera. This camera used 8mm film, which came in cartridges, which plugged in here. I managed to pick this up for £5, which is about $7 in a car boot sale, and originally I thought, ooh, maybe this is worth a fortune, it being so old, so I looked it up on eBay, and no, it is not worth that much at all. There must have been thousands of these produced, and they're lying around everywhere. They're not really worth anything, so my hopes of making a fortune from finding this in a car boot sale, yeah, that's not going to happen. So then I had the idea, what if you could convert this to digital? What if you could somehow get a sensor in there and a camera set that you could shoot video through it? Now, why would I want to do that? I don't know. That could give me something to do. There's basically two ways of doing it that I've seen other people do with stills cameras. One is to maybe strip a digital camera to bits, take the sensor out of it, and put that sensor into the focal plane, put it where the film would have been inside the camera. But that's really complicated and requires a really good knowledge of electronics, which I don't have. So the second option is to fit a camera inside this, like a smaller camera, and match it up with the lens. So you essentially got a camera inside a camera and do it that way, which is what I'm going to try. I will cut out the innards of this, so I'm just left with this empty space with the lens going through, and then hopefully I can get a camera in there somehow, and hopefully the optics will work with the camera I put in, because if they don't, I know absolutely... Hello? If they don't, I know absolutely nothing about optics. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so some of these bits here riveted on, so there is no way of getting these off without cutting it, so I'm just gonna have to take a Dremel and aha! And it's out. Alright, after a lot of smoke and mess and yeah, this is never going back together again, but after all that, I've got the entire guts emptied out of it. There's nothing in the middle here, and I can see through the lens, and just from the angle that I can get, I can see a clear image coming through, which means I should be able to put another camera in here behind this and get an image. So I'm going to try it with the GoPro. Now, for this to work, I suspect I'll have to put the GoPro into linear mode and zoom in, because it's such a wide angle, it's not going to look through that small lens very well. But I'm going to do a test and see what happens. Let's see. It works. that is actually working. That works, but look, you can see the GoPro sticks away out the side. So all I have to do is find a smaller camera that I can fit in there.
And this is the camera that I'm going to try and put inside it. This is a tiny, like twice the size of a sugar lump little spy camera. It allegedly shoots 1080p. It's probably rubbish quality, but that's fine because I'm going to be doing a conversion on it afterwards to make it even softer and noisier. So the quality that I get out of this is probably absolutely fine. I did test this inside the Super 8 camera trying to shoot through the lens. Didn't work. Whatever way the optics were, it was just incredibly blurry. So I had to do what I really didn't want to do, and I smashed the lens out of this. So what I am going to do is I'm going to build a little mount that allows me to plug this in. So it'll almost be like I'm installing a little cartridge of film, except this is my little digital film cartridge, if that's a way of thinking about it. So I'll set the camera up, I'll hit record, and I'll slot it in. And then what I want to do afterwards is see how much work I need to do to the footage from this to try and actually make it look like Super 8 film. So the first thing is I'm going to build a mount to put this inside the camera, reassemble it all so it looks like new, and it's ready to go. So I've made it's really simple. Put 3 pieces of foam board in there, and the camera can now just slot into place. But I need something that's going to stop it falling out. So I'm going to cut like a little wedge so I can create like a little door that I just slide on the top of that, and I'll hold it in place. And there we go. So I now have this little block that I can, once the camera is in place, I just slide it in, and it'll stop the camera from falling out. So here's an unexpected little discovery. Now originally there's a viewfinder in this that worked by reflecting an image down from underneath here. I found all the optics from this, and what I've managed to do is I've made a hole up here and attached about, see it, this little lens which was part of the entire system, and it now means I actually have a viewfinder. It's slightly obscured on one side, but it's a working viewfinder. And I am done. It pretty much looks how it looked before, and what I really like is that the way you use it is actually really similar to how you would have used it back when you were putting film in it. So what you do is you take your little cube camera, switch it on, hit start record, open up the side, slot the camera into the little holder, then put the little wedge in that holds it in place. Close that down, film away, looking through the viewfinder to frame your shot. Once you're done with that, open it up, take the wedge out, take the little camera out, and switch it off, and then bring it to the computer. I'm going to go shoot some test shots now, and then show you how to do sort of a conversion in Premiere Pro to make it actually look like Super 8 footage. Here are some of the first test shots. I have no idea how this camera works in low light. To get it to actually look more like Super 8 film, I need to do a couple of things. One is to add a film look to it and a film grain. Secondly, I need to add a crop or a frame because Super 8 is more of a square format. And the third thing I need to do is change the shutter speed so it's more staccato, more jerky, because Super 8 is only around 18 frames per second. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use a plugin that I have called Film Convert, which is a great plugin if you're wanting to like simulate film. So you just drag that on, and I'm using an adjustment layer above all of the clips that sort of applies them all below, and then it means I can reuse it easier. So I'll drop that onto my adjustment layer. Camera settings, just leave those. For film settings, I'm going to go to, I'll just pick one of these. It maybe gives me a slightly warmer image. Yeah, I kind of like that one. And then where it says 35mm full frame, I'm going to go in here and pick Super 8, and that will give it the Super 8 grain. And that's one of the things most convincing in selling this. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the softness up to 100. Even though I've added that soften, I am then going to go into the lumetri color panel and soften it even a bit more. So I'm going to pull down the sharpness here. I'm going to boost the saturation in lumetri because I want it to feel a bit punchier. Over the top of it, I'm going to add a square frame. And then finally, the last thing I'll do, I'm going to add an effect which is called posterized time. Drop that on the top, and that lets you set whatever frame rate you want. So I go into the settings for that, and I'm going to set the frame rate to 18 frames per second, which is the actual frame rate that this should run at. That is pretty much it. So I'm going to render this out and see what it looks like. It works in low light. One other advantage is that this camera has a built-in microphone, which I didn't realize. Here's the workshop. This is where it was all done. Check out here. I'll go outside and see what it's like outside. People are going to look at me really funny filming myself in this really old camera. It is actually quite small and compact. It's lighter than DSLR, so maybe I'll start vlogging on this. Let me see. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, there's some trees. I'm going to point it straight in. And here it is pointing directly into direct sunlight. I'll set it down somewhere, and I'll go and try and walk through the frame, see what that looks like. I couldn't resist a little bit of ragtime at the end there. That is it. That is my conversion of this little Bell & Howell 492 over to digital. I know some people are going to say, "That wasn't a problem with digital." I don't care. I did what I was set out to do, which was be able to shoot video with this. The fact that I did that by sticking another camera inside of this is irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. I managed to do what I wanted to do. I thought it was just a bit of fun. The results I got from that camera are probably not as good as I'd like. It's actually worse quality, significantly worse quality than some Super 8 footage. I would be interested to know if you thought this was a complete waste of time, so please let me know in the comments. I could spend more time in this. What might be quite nice is hooking up the button, so when I press this it starts recording and stops recording, and maybe to tidy up this mess I made with the viewfinder. But overall I'm actually pretty happy with how this turned out. If you like this video, if you like this kind of DIY build hack video, let me know, because I have ideas for other things I'd like to do. Otherwise, next week is going to be a video where a horrible tragedy occurs to my head. Well, more to the point, to a friend that used to reside on my friend, a friend that used to reside on my head when I went running. So I'll see you next week, and if you like the video, please like and please subscribe. Thank you.